Hey guys, how's it going? So, I have breaking news from the state of Michigan and all of the Michigan people watching this. I need you guys to share this with all your friends on your social media, and I need you guys to get involved. I need you guys to contact the Secretary of State's office. I need you to contact your state representative, your state senator, and the leadership, which would be Senator Mike Shirkey and Speaker of the House, Lee Chatfield. We need to put a stop to this, and it's gone too far. And yes, the title of this video: Michigan Secretary of State to ban guns. So, just reported this morning, Friday, October 16th, coming out of Lansing, Michigan, as reported by the Detroit News. I'm going to leave a link to this down in the description. Michigan is prohibiting the open carry of guns within 100 feet of polling places amid fears of voter intimidation during the pivotal November 3rd election. So, Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson, being part of the executive branch in charge of the Secretary of State, which in Michigan generally has to do with renewing your license plates, tabs, your driver's license, taking certain tests like mechanic certifications and CDL tests. Yeah, that Secretary of State now thinks that she has the power to ban guns. Yeah, this is literally going on right now in Michigan, with less than 3 weeks to go before this very important, and as this article says, pivotal indeed, election. So it says Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson set guidance to local election officials on Friday, 18 days before Election Day, to clarify that the open carry of firearms on Election Day in polling places, clerk's offices, and absent voter counting boards is banned. And I'm going to quote the guidance right here. The presence of firearms at the polling place, clerk's office, or absent voter counting board may cause disruption, fear, or intimidation of voters, election workers, and others present. It continues, absent clear standards, there is potential for confusion and uneven application of legal requirements for Michigan's 1,600 election officials, 30,000 election inspectors, 8 million registered voters, and thousands of challengers and poll watchers on election day, it adds. It says that it's unclear. I don't understand how it's unclear, because in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of the United States of America, in the Second Amendment, it's pretty clear. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That's it, it's over. That's all it says. It doesn't say except for at voting places, except during a tumultuous election. No, just shall not be infringed. And that's the supreme law of the land. Now let's look at Michigan's supreme law of the land, the Michigan Constitution. And in Article 1, Section 6, this is so simple, guys. Right here, bearing of arms. Every person has a right to keep and bear arms for defense of himself and the state. And this wasn't ratified in 1791, although the 1791 document is alive and well, and it doesn't need to change, because I don't want to change America. But this is even much newer than this. This was adopted in 1963. So less than 60 years ago, the people of Michigan still thought that every person has the right to keep and bear arms for defense of himself and the state. Well, now we have a Secretary of State. Instead of trying to get the Secretary of State's offices open, which I would note people are waiting months in Michigan just to get routine things such as their driver's licenses renewed, vehicle title transfers, things like that. Instead of getting that office in order, which is where that's who she presides over, and I believe her executive actions would be appropriate to regulate her own executive offices, to organize them for efficiency, safety, things like that. Instead, she's going to now, the Secretary of State feels that she has the right to regulate the safety of all voters in Michigan. It goes on to say, Benson is working with Attorney General Dana Nessel and Michigan State Police Director Colonel Joe Gasper to ensure, in quotes, Michigan voters are safe and secure when voting by informing local law enforcement agencies and ensuring that the ban on openly carried firearms is enforced statewide, according to a statement from her office. It goes on to say, and I'm going to quote Benson here, fair, free, and secure elections are the foundations of our democracy. I am committed to ensuring all eligible Michigan citizens can freely exercise their fundamental right to vote without fear of threats, intimidation, or harassment. Okay? And I would note to the Secretary of State, the United States of Michigan's, we're a republic. We are not a democracy, because a straight democracy is literally two wolves and one sheep voting over what's for dinner. No, we're a republic. We're a republic if we can keep it, as the late great Benjamin Franklin said. And she keeps talking about how that she's committed to ensuring people's right to vote, which I'm committed to that too. Our right to vote is very important. One of the most important things we have, right? Well, we also have the right to keep and bear arms that shall not be infringed, according to the United States Constitution and according to the state of Michigan Constitution, for defense of himself and the state. These are also fundamental rights. Which one's more important? I think they're all important. So we can't get rid of one right to try to get another one. And by the way, I'm not aware of any problems that we've ever had in the state of Michigan as far as people with guns stopping people from voting. But I would note that we've had now over 140 days of violent, they call them mostly peaceful protests. Well, they look like riots and destruction to me, where people come in and pillage, and there's a no looting sign, a no burning down this building sign doesn't stop these people. And I would note that these signs that they're going to put up that says no open carry at any of these places that were previously discussed, signs don't stop bad people. Because you know what? This is how it works, and this is really all it comes down to. Good people generally don't need laws because we're going to do the right thing. Bad people and criminals don't follow laws because by definition, them being a criminal, they're not going to follow this law. And many shootings, if you want to talk about guns, do occur in gun-free zones, which the Secretary of State has just made. And I call these criminal empowerment zones, where the criminal's not going to have the resistance they normally would from good people trying to stop a bad person in commission of a crime. Because actually, even the CDC itself says that more lives are saved each year and threats are stopped with guns than are taken with guns. So keep that in mind. It goes on to clarify a little further. The open carry of guns will be prohibited inside the state's polling places in any hallways voters use to enter or exit them within 100 feet of an entrance to a building in which a polling place is located. Voters may leave firearms inside their vehicles if they are parked within 100 feet of the building, if otherwise permitted by law to possess the firearm within the vehicle, the guidance says. Now here's something else important to note. Concealed carry will be prohibited in any building that already prohibits it, unless an individual is authorized by the building. And that's important to note because many local voting polling stations are in schools. Well, in Michigan, you're already prohibited, even with a CPL, concealed pistol license. You're already prohibited right now by state law. And unfortunately, there was Supreme Court guidance that upheld part of this that says you're not allowed to carry a gun, even with a license, concealed in Michigan, your concealed pistol in a school. So people were open carrying in schools. It gets complicated, but basically, unless the school has a policy expressly prohibiting it, you can still open carry a sidearm in Michigan when you're voting or in a school or otherwise. Well, now they're clearly stating you can't open carry. You also can't concealed carry. So if you're voting in a school, according to this guidance, in conjunction with previous Supreme Court rulings in Michigan, gun-free zone for you now when you go to vote. I would also note, and I know some of you guys are going to say this, so I'm going to talk about this right now. And I want you guys to think about this for a second. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, I vote at the local library, and I have a CPL, so it doesn't affect me. What's the big deal? Here's the big deal. These rights apply to everybody, to the rich, to the poor, to the powerful, and to the weak. And that's what the United States of America is based on. And I would also note, I have a friend, her name's Gabrielle. Single mom, lost her job, and she doesn't have a lot of money. And just recently, from one of the awesome viewers of this channel, she was just donated a firearm. She picked it up through the FFL completely legally, lawfully. She doesn't have a CPL. You know why? She took the class, which cost about $100, and now she's saving up her money for the approximately $130 that it costs to get a CPL. Everybody can't afford to do that. So she's not going to be able to protect herself when she goes to vote. against any possible threats that, hey, it's a safe neighborhood. It'll never happen here, they say, until it does. And then the police come, which are mostly great people that want to protect and help us. But you know what? When trouble is seconds away, usually the police are only minutes away, and they often come to take reports of what happened afterwards. So what this executive action does, in fact, is it deprives the single mother like Gabrielle, who can't afford the $130 right now, to get her CPL, and could have otherwise openly carried her lawfully owned and possessed firearm to provide for the security, as the state of Michigan Constitution says, for the security of herself and of the state. And that's being deprived by the Democrat Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson, who obviously doesn't care about the single mother who is down on her luck financially, just wanting to protect herself and defend this great state of Michigan. And it goes on further to say election inspectors should contact law enforcement immediately if these prohibitions are violated, the guidance says. The prohibition on open carry does not apply to law enforcement officers acting in the course of their duties. Of course not, because they're always exempt. Clearly a separate class that's been created, and often is, by these gun control rules and laws. And I want to close with this. There's a bunch of things in here that talk about the safety, the safety, the safety. And as I said earlier, it's a proven fact that more lives are saved with good people with guns each year. And many just reprehensible crimes are thwarted by the lawful ownership of good people carrying guns. But she keeps talking about safety, and even though that flies in the face of facts, we'll go back to another great quote by a founding father, and this comes from Benjamin Franklin. Those who would give up essential liberty to purchase a little temporary safety deserve neither liberty nor safety. And for a little bit of perceived safety, and it's just a perception, guys, this is a facade. This is just going to stop the good people that would lawfully carry their firearms, because the criminals aren't going to stop at a stupid sign, and statistics prove this over and over and over. So this perceived false safety that the Secretary of State is supposedly providing to you, I agree with Franklin. You deserve neither if you're going to fall for that. How are people putting up with this in the state of Michigan? I have no idea, but I need you guys to share this, get on this. And this is all for this video because it's already getting a little bit long, but there's going to be another video coming up very soon that's adjacent to this. And this has to do with the fact that they're looking to ban guns now at the Michigan Capitol building. I have several articles from several sources here. And in fact, what's kind of scary is the title of the one article from Fox 2 says, talks continue between Republican leaders on banning guns at Michigan Capitol building. Apparently, the Republicans in Lansing are now talking about quote-unquote reasonable measures of gun control. That's going to be another story. Stick around. I'll break that on this channel here again very soon. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. And let me know if you think that the Secretary of State in Michigan has the right to do gun control by edict, by executive action. Hope Gabrielle's safe when she goes to vote. Hope all the single moms are safe. And I hope all the well-bodied males are safe. I hope everybody's safe, because these rights belong to everybody, to the rich, to the poor, to the powerful and the weak. And I hope all of you are safe when you're voting during this very important election. And I wish you well. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.